The morning started like any other normal day at Riverside High School. The hallways were filled with the usual sounds: lockers slamming, students laughing, and teachers reminding everyone not to run in the corridors. Outside, the bright morning sun shone over the football field, while the American flag moved gently in the wind. Inside classroom 204, Mr. Carter was explaining a history lesson. "Remember," he said while writing on the board, "human history is full of moments where courage changed everything." Most students were listening, but some were half asleep. Jake leaned back in his chair and whispered to his friend Emily, "Why do mornings feel like they last forever?" Emily laughed quietly. "Because you stayed up playing games again." Across the classroom, another student, Daniel, was looking out the window instead of listening to the lesson. At first, everything looked normal. Blue sky, white clouds, birds flying. Then suddenly, Daniel frowned. Guys?" No one listened. He stood up slowly, staring outside. "Mr. Carter, something's weird." The teacher sighed. "Daniel, sit down and—" He stopped mid-sentence, because the classroom suddenly became darker, not like clouds covering the sun. Something else. Something huge. Outside the window, a massive shadow slowly moved across the schoolyard. Students rushed to the windows. "What is that? Is that a plane?" "No, that's not a plane." Then the sky changed. Strange glowing lights began appearing above the clouds, blue, purple, and deep red. The air itself seemed to vibrate with a low humming sound. The birds disappeared. Phones started recording. And then they appeared. Gigantic alien ships slowly emerged from the clouds. Not one, not two, dozens. They floated silently above the city like dark metal mountains. Inside the classroom, no one moved. Emily whispered in fear. This can't be real." Another student dropped his phone. Outside, car alarms started going off across the city. Sirens screamed in the distance. Teachers ran into the hallway shouting orders. "Everyone stay calm. Move away from the windows." But it was already too late. Because one of the alien ships slowly moved directly above the school, the sunlight disappeared completely. The entire building was now under its shadow. Then the loud humming sound suddenly stopped. For a moment, everything became completely silent. Too silent. And then, a bright blue beam of light shot down from the alien ship, landing directly in the middle of the school football field. Inside the classroom, Jake whispered with shaking hands, "Guys, I think—" He swallowed. "I think they're coming down." And in that moment, every student in the room realized something terrifying. This was no movie, no drill, no joke. Earth was no longer alone, and the first place the aliens chose to visit was their school. The strange lights in the sky were no longer distant. Within minutes, the glowing objects grew larger, clearer, and far more terrifying. From the school playground, hundreds of students stared upward, their eyes wide with confusion. "What are those things?" one boy whispered. The morning sun slowly began to disappear behind enormous, dark shapes moving across the sky. Alien ships. Massive metallic structures hovered silently above the school building. Their surfaces shimmered with an eerie blue glow, reflecting the clouds like liquid metal. Inside the classrooms, teachers stopped speaking mid-sentence. Every student had turned toward the windows. Then it happened. A deep vibrating sound rolled across the sky. Boom! The entire building shook slightly, as if something enormous had just awakened above them. Some students screamed. Others grabbed their phones, trying to record what they were seeing. In the hallway, a teacher rushed toward the principal's office. "This isn't a drone or military aircraft," she said, her voice shaking. Outside, the shadows of the ships stretched across the playground like giant claws. The sky grew darker. One ship slowly lowered closer to the school. Its underside opened, revealing rows of strange glowing circles. Suddenly, a sharp alien sound echoed through the air. Gersh, duh. It was not language. It was something deeper, mechanical, almost alive. Students covered their ears. Teachers tried to calm everyone. "Stay inside. Close the windows," someone shouted. But it was already too late. The ground began to tremble. From the center of the largest ship, a thin beam of pale blue light slowly pointed toward the school courtyard. Dust lifted from the ground as the beam touched the earth. And then, something started moving inside the light. Shapes. Tall. Thin. Not human. A group of students near the window gasped in horror. Are those creatures? The alien shadow stretched across the ground, growing longer as the figures slowly stepped forward. Inside the classroom, a girl whispered in fear, "They're coming here." The alien ships above the school hummed louder and louder, and for the first time, humanity realized this was not a visit. It was an invasion. But what the aliens didn't know yet was that something inside this school was about to change everything.